Won't be Ryan the Great, and today we are talking the NFL tag deadline, guys. I know I am a little bit late to this, as the tag deadline was, on the 5th, I believe? I think that was the tag deadline at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, so I am a little bit late to this, but it is what it is, better late than never. So we're just going to get right into this. But before we get right into it, guys, make sure you guys subscribe with your post notifications on. Go subscribe to my brother, League of Great Blogs. Make sure you guys go subscribe to my second channel at Round the Cod Great. Make sure you guys go follow me on X at Round the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok at Round the Great RTG. Make sure you guys go listen to the latest edition of the CR7 podcast. And make sure you guys go follow me on Twitch at Round the Great Podcast. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the video. Let's roll that intro. Won't be Ryan the Great, and today it'll be intercepted! The defensive line. What the hell are you doing? No effort whatsoever when it came to the defense. Bat, he is 0 for 2 today. Come on, Stotty. Stop! 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 Red slam! First pitch! Bring him in! Braxton! Stop! Ring that! Yes! Oh, damn. 1, 2, 3. What? Alright, let's run the video. So starting off with the very first tag of the tag deadline, T. Higgins. So T. Higgins will receive a franchise tag salary of $816 million. T. Higgins has been a very big part of this Bengals offense. There is no doubt. 2,000-yard seasons ever since his second round draft pick, or ever since he was picked in the second round. In 2020, which I definitely think the Eagles should have taken him if they weren't going to take Justin Jefferson, but that's neither here nor there. But he obviously has played as a number one wide receiver behind Jamar Chase, and the Bengals pretty much have 3 number one wide receivers. In my opinion, Tyler Boyd over the past couple of seasons has been spectacular. I think he could have been a number one wide receiver on a team that was looking to surge into the playoff picture, but he never left Cincinnati, so credits to him. But Jamar Chase is obviously going to have to get paid. Tyler Boyd looks like he's not going to return to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he will walk in free agency. But T. Higgins, he is definitely a top wide receiver in the NFL, and him going to any team would make that team automatically dangerous and a playoff contender, depending on what quarterback and offensive line they have. So I don't think they want to let T. Higgins go for nothing. I think now Cincinnati's window is closing for a Super Bowl championship because of the fact that you might be losing T. Higgins next offseason if he decides to go to Tennessee with offensive coordinator Brian Callahan, but we'll have to see. Next, L'Jarius Sneed being tagged by the Kansas City Chiefs. And the franchise tag salary is $19.802 million. I think that the Chiefs were definitely not okay with the fact of L'Jarius Sneed walking without getting any compensation for him. Obviously, they definitely are going to need cornerbacks. They lucked out on They lucked out on L'Jarius Sneed because he was a 4th-round pick just a couple of years ago, and he has turned into one of the best corners in the NFL, probably the best player of a Steve Spagnuolo defense, right next to, he fit. I think he fit the Steve Spagnuolo defense more than anybody else. He obviously wasn't the best player. He fit the Steve Spagnuolo defense better than anybody on that defense, and that does include Chris Jones. And speaking of Chris Jones, the Chiefs are also going to have to pay him as well. L'Jarius Sneed is going to want to be paid as a top corner in the NFL on a long-term contract. So if you don't get a deal done, or at least try and work out negotiations with him, he is definitely going to be frustrated about what he wants. He's able to play anywhere on the field, and he definitely deserves to be paid like a top corner in the NFL. Anyway, next tag, outside linebacker Brian Burns, tagged by the Carolina Panthers. He was tagged for a salary of $24 million. I think Brian Burns is really raising the bar on his salary request of $30 million per year, because I don't think he really wants the Carolina Panthers to pay him that so he can leave in free agency, because who in the God's name is going to want to play for the Carolina Panthers? They're in a rebuild right now. When you're a young player that has had a double-digit sack seasons. He only played in 12 games in 2022 and still had 12 and a half sacks that season. He has played really, really well this past couple of seasons. I think he had 8.5 sacks last season. With the Carolina Panthers team that really doesn't have that many pass rushers, he's being double teamed a lot of focus being paid attention to him. That is definitely a testament of what this guy can do, when defenses will not be paying attention to him so much, saying he goes to a better team. I think he's going to have to stick it out this season, or the Panthers might make a trade at the trade deadline if they realize that he is not going to be re-signing with them in the offseason. We'll have to see. Maybe the Panthers will offer him the $30 million per year. We'll have to see if he takes it or not. In my opinion, I don't think he probably would. I think he wants to go somewhere else. I think he really wants to win because of the fact that he put his salary so high. Next, the Ravens tagged, I hope I say his name correctly, defensive tackle Justin Matabuke for $102 million. I mean, he was definitely one of an underrated defensive tackle last season. 13 sacks last season on a Baltimore Ravens defense that was considered one of the best in the NFL. Definitely helped the Baltimore Ravens get to where they were in the regular season. I mean, he's 26 years old. He's got a lot of years left of him. I'm sure Baltimore is going to want to pay him a lot of money. They just have to get their salary cap figured out. I think this is just a placeholder. I do think they will be able to pay him his money. Josh Allen was tagged by the Jacksonville Jaguars, their linebacker, and the tag on him is $22.748 million. They definitely don't want him, to hit free agency because they're going to, they're scared of losing control of Josh Allen because he was the best defensive player on this Jacksonville defense last season. Let me pull up his stats really quickly if this would load. He had 17 and a half sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 43 solo tackles. I mean, one of the best players in the NFL when it comes to bagging the quarterback. And I definitely think that he will get a huge contract as the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not paying too many guys a high salary. I do think they'll be able to get a job done relatively quickly. Now, Jalen Johnson was already paid a contract of 4 years, $76 million. I'm filming this video after that contract did take place, so there's not really much to discuss there. Antoine Winfield Jr. was tagged. I think this is just a placeholder in my opinion, but the tag is $17.1 million. He was one of the best safeties in the NFL last year. 76 solo tackles. He was tied for first in the NFL with forced fumbles at 6. 3 interceptions, 12 pass deflections. I mean, he was one of the best safeties in the NFL. You definitely cannot deny it. He is definitely a cornerstone piece for this team, and I think their best player on defense. He's very versatile. I think that he can play, any spot. He can play a strong safety. He can play a free safety. He can play in the nickel. He can really do anything for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They need to keep him around. I think they'll get him his money. Kyle Duggar is being placed or having the transition tag placed on him, meaning he can, I believe he can sign with another team, but the Patriots can match it. But anyway, his transition tag salary is $13.8 million. And I'm not sure this is really the biggest tag. I mean, he definitely had the best year of his career, but it definitely was not anything special. 71 solo tackles, a forced fumble, 2 interceptions, and 7 pass deflections. Definitely a solid player at 27 years old. There definitely is a lot of room for improvement. But once again, the best year of his career. He only has room to get better. I'm sure the Patriots are going to want to lock him up. I'd say in around a 2-3 year deal if they are able to get a contract done with him. Obviously he's going to have a defensive coach in Jerome Mayo take over as head coach, so maybe he's going to want to stick around. And the final tag was Michael Pittman being tagged by the Indianapolis Colts, a franchise tag salary of $21.8 million. Obviously, the Indianapolis Colts with Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor on a newly acquired deal, and really with not a lot of receiver talent around Michael Pittman Jr., they need to keep him around. And they have some young guys, like I'd say Josh Downs is probably their second best receiver. But, Pittman is obviously the best receiver on that team. I think he took a step back from last season, but, I don't think that, that really hurt the Colts in any way. They obviously almost made the playoffs with a Gardner Minshew at quarterback. The Colts have never really, said, kind of implied that they are going to let Pittman go. Like, they really want to keep him by any means. And in my opinion, I think that is the right move. Obviously, probably I'd say if you want to throw Anthony Richardson in there, he's probably, I don't know, I'd say the second or third best player on that offense right now. And they definitely need to keep him around if they want to be a playoff team for the next couple of seasons. But we'll have to see if they get a deal done with him. I assume some of these guys will get a deal. I think some of them will be traded. I don't really know if I see L'Jarius Sneed sticking around with the Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion. I think that, maybe T. Higgins is going to move on next year if he doesn't get a contract that he wants. Same thing with Brian Burns. But some of these guys, I think, will stay with the teams that they are tagged to. I just think that these are placeholder deals before they can get a contract done. So, that'll do it for this video, guys. Be sure to guys subscribe with the post notifications on. Go subscribe to my Bro Great blogs. Make sure you guys go subscribe to my second channel at Run the Con Great. Make sure you guys go follow me on X at RunTheGreatRTG. Also, I forgot to mention, the CR7 podcast has created its own X account, at the CR7 podcast. So make sure you guys go follow that. We'll be providing updates with, sports updates and podcast updates, stuff like that. So yeah, make sure you guys go follow that. Make sure you guys go follow me on X at RunTheGreatRTG. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok at RunTheGreatRTG. And make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter at RunTheGreatPodcast. And as always, Ryan the Great out. Peace.